exactly what I mean by you, but I just wanted to, let you know the importance of turning the other cheek. So now we all hear about, life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. We all hear that, right? We also know that or heard, something that's negative, that impacted your life in a negative way can also have a positive outcome in it. So when we're talking about turning the other cheek, we're saying initially what we're talking about is having a different perspective of what's in front of you. That's all that is, and that's very important because your life is based on your perspective. It's all the way we look at things. That's why either it makes us sane or insane. That's why it's all mental. And your understanding is a representation of what we have of God or the divine cosmic or electricity consciousness. So, turning the other cheek is having a different perspective on what's being presented to you. But most importantly, what we're really talking about, I mean, we could have different perspective, but we're talking about having a higher perspective of what the outcome is, right? So let me just use this example so you guys can understand exactly what I'm referring to, right? Let's just pretend, you were born like without a dad or an orphan, right? And, you don't know what it's like, what I'm saying, to have daddy picking you up, playing with a dad and none of that shit, right? However, as you don't have these emotional support, then you find yourself, let's just say at 13, 14 years, now everything that you do, you have to earn everything that you actually have, right? Then now you start having your own business, at an early young age. It helps you to be very business oriented because now your survival depends on you. In so many words, that's what growing fast is. When you have a kid that grows fast, is that the nigga didn't have the time as a kid, he was doing adult shit. Right? So why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this to show you because I'm going to link this for you to understand turning the other cheek, what it really means. Do you see what I'm saying? So now you also have, and then you become successful, or let's just say you don't have to become successful, but successful to a point where you're not a millionaire or anything, but you're doing well for yourself. And now you have your family and everything else, right? Now you were able to put your life back on track. I'm saying all of this to say, right? So life gave you lemon, not having your mom and dad, being an orphan. And what you did with that, you turn it into lemonade, where you actually have a very prolific and fruitful life. Now, when we're talking about turning the other cheek now, so I'm presenting the facts to you. Now, when you turn the other cheek, what you're doing is now you are understanding or you are looking at, this is the first perspective. Now, me looking at or judging this whole situation, I would tell this young man, this was your blessing. Not having your mom and dad was your blessing. Why was it your... Now, does it mean that, like... There's a lot of things that this dude is missing, as far as on the fucking emotional level, because life is not all about fucking making money too, man. Let's just be honest. A lot of us are dysfunctional because we just miss a hug. That's what the fuck it is. Until you liberate yourself and make something else out of yourself, because my uncle taught me this at a very young age. This nigga told me this. Haitian nigga too. He said, in life, you get two type of education. There's one that's given to you. The other one is the one that you're giving to yourself. Oh, this nigga was come on, man. I've been, you know what I'm saying? I was always the type of dude who would want to listen and see what the elders were talking about. I was always not I was minding other people's business. But in a sense, that was also my business because I was curious. I wanted to learn. I wanted to know. This is not a mistake here. This is definitely not a mistake. This is a long way coming. I mean, I was that before I even become this. But anyway, I was just talking my shit. You know what I'm saying? You're always going to get that too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because, I got different people coming through. So, do you see what I'm saying? So now, when you're turning the other cheek and the art of doing that, what makes it an art is because you have to understand it. You got to have the understanding. You have to reach that state of consciousness for you to understand it. Then you can take it. Because understand this, you got to be in certain spaces for you to understand anything. Because you don't understand with your ear. You don't listen with your ear. You listen with your intelligence. So therefore, there has to be some sort of growth in you already for you to listen to it. That's why resonate is. I mean, that's the meaning of what truly resonation is. When you resonate with something, it's already in you. Now, it's not developed, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Depending on your journey, depending on how, open your heart is. You know what I'm saying? And it's all of that's going to align with it. I know for me, in the past, there are some teachers, like, from the moment I just heard their voice, I'm like, I need to learn more from this motherfucker. Because there was something in me that was already open, that was already out there. Do you see what I'm saying? And sometimes, because it's easy. I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you are listening to someone dropping knowledge, and now you're like, yo, man, tell me more. Whereas other people who are not you, their reaction would be like, man, shut the fuck up, man. This nigga's bullshitting, man. Nigga always talking about this bullshit. And now here you go, not understanding what he's talking about, but you resonate with it. There's something in you that tells you, yo, like you're eating your food. So in so many ways, what I'm also telling you too, when you see that shit happen, you were already open. There was a certain resonance in you. You'll see and you'll have to notice that you always were like open-minded. That's what being open-minded is, to be honest. But, on a spiritual perspective, open-minded is really, they telling you to, you have to be open to it. So therefore, just to be open to that openness, those are different levels of understanding. So if you're even willing to listen to it, meanwhile you haven't quite understood it yet, that's the growth. That's the beginning stages. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that, but I just wanted to break down a couple of things so that you understand your journey here. You are a spiritual being. That's the fucking human experience. You coping with, you understanding shit. That's the human nature. Because you already know it. Your spirit, your God. So the process of you learning, that's the human shit. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Oh, I'm talking dirty to y'all niggas, man. Eat your food, niggas. And again, reach out to me after you listen to this. If you have any questions or something you may want me to expand on, just shoot me an email and, and then we'll definitely talk about it. Because the purpose of having this too, now you have unlimited access to it. Even if you didn't catch something that I said at the very beginning, you just got to allow that shit to grow in you too. Because those are seeds. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, at this point, what you're doing is you are being receptive. You are in the feminine energy at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm putting that sperm in you. Being the great farmer. You dig me? You dig it? Give yourself some time. You'll get it in time. So Not just the understanding part, but there's a growth that's also taking place in you, your vibration. Because everything that happens to you, the more understanding that you are acquiring, the higher, like, you're vibrating, either lighter or I mean, I would say lighter for the sake of what I'm talking about, but it's brighter and lighter because you're becoming more of the light. And that's how you're going to change your DNA. And that's what your fucking body is, an extension of your fucking consciousness. Come on, niggas. I'm giving y'all niggas a whole lot over here. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick that shit up, niggas. Pick it up, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let it do what it does. So now, let's get back to it. So I want you to understand all of those different processes, right, that you're going through. Now, when you turn the other cheek, it's turning, it's actually allowing your higher consciousness to take over you, to take over the situation. And that's how the two come together. They take turns. Like, I find my higher self, when I need to do certain things, then the higher self comes down. And the unification, that's why you got to embrace yourself. And here's something else too, guys, I would strongly recommend. Get a mirror, right? A special mirror. You are the only person that looks at it. And what you do is, when you have that mirror, you always talk to yourself through the mirror. Because now you are evoking or invoking your higher self. You talking to yourself, saying how beautiful you are. Or if you have any questions, you just go ahead and ask yourself. And it'll get back to you. But it's that Holy Communion, it's that sense of connection that you're building with yourself. You got to have that intimacy with it. Because that higher self of you is essentially the God in you. So you are inviting it. You got to praise yourself. Embrace yourself. Praise yourself. Congratulate yourself. We'll get it. If we made any mistake, we'll get it right the next time, baby. Let's go. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's how you master your shadow self. Because you doing that, you talking to yourself, you also talking to your shadow too. They all got to be in alignment. And that's how you heal. That's how you become 100%. That's how you ascend. But anyway, this is for, but it's all related though. I got to give you the total package, baby. You paying for this. I'm giving you the total package, man. You paid for it. So, what I'm talking about here is that the art of turning the other cheek is far more profound than a lot of people think it is. Some people don't even see the wisdom in it because they tend to look at it on a literal, perspective. Of course, somebody smack you over here, you're going to turn the other. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But what this is telling you is when things happen just like that kid should go back. If the kid is doing his shadow work, mom and dad was not around, but guess what, man? It gave me devotion. I had discipline. I had to have a plan that I was checking off or things that I was doing. That's turning the other cheek now. Now you are in alignment with your higher self at this point. And that's how you flow with the flow of life. You go with the flow of life. Because when life happens, life just happened. Your interpretation of life, that's what makes the difference. So essentially, you are creating your reality, but also your definition of it too. Because now, as that kid, okay, how are you going to be looking at